Two?
I don't know.
Another week.
Another week. No deaths,
No deaths. It's a win.
I guess.
No meltdowns either.
No.
From anyone, including me.
Except for the snow. You melted down.
Did I?
You always do.
I didn't think I had a meltdown this week.
Morning? 5 minutes ago? Come on.
Every time.
One of these days.
Every
It's
time.
like I inhale right before it goes down or something.
You get the fumes or
And
something.
we are back, ladies
We're
and
back.
gentlemen. Gentlemen, excuse me. Welcome to yet again another Drunken Parents podcast. And this is a show where we sit down, have a drink or two, and talk about pretty much anything that we feel like.
Yeah.
Usually centered sometimes, around parenting. But
Since
whatever we-
it's called Drunken Parents.
yeah, we're
so
parents.
parents.
And we talk. And that's what the show is about.
Yeah.
Before, actually not before, but what a little sneak peek of what we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're going to talk about post-secondary education and why it's bullshit. Basically, that's what we're talking about today.
Hashtag spoiler alert. It's
Yes.
bullshit.
But, of course, before we get to that, we need to introduce today's non-sponsor.
Yes.
And today, our episode is not sponsored by Wilfrid Laurier University, of course.
Of course.
And if you haven't heard, there's an interesting story out of there where they've had to apologize after 3 faculty or staff members were basically reprimanding a graduate student who showed a video of Jordan Peterson. So,
And if you don't know who Jordan Peterson is, he's professor at University of Toronto, and he has some very outspoken views about pronoun usage.
but they're not even outspoken. They're just
Well, he's outspoken about it.
because people are outspoken against him.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But, hey.
Anyway, so they're not sponsoring us today.
Yeah, and you know what? Here you go. Here's another drink.
Okay.
And if Laurier were actually said, "Yo, here's money. I'll sponsor your podcast," I would literally tell them to take that money and shove them up their kind of tight SJW asses and just get out of here. I would want nothing
to do with it.
Absolutely not.
No.
But hey,
That's
just
just
me.
us.
that's just me. So, anyways,
Anyways,
how you doing?
I'm good. Did you have a good week?
It was busy.
I was gonna say you were hard this week.
Busy, but yeah, I didn't even want to talk about this at all. But now that you asked me, I was just thinking because I was just talking before we started this podcast how my knee's been hurting quite a bit lately, and I've been working a whole lot more, so it's a whole lot more sitting and a whole lot more stationary stuff and a whole lot less of physical activity.
Yeah.
And I still try to, obviously, I need to get up and do my stretches and everything like that to make sure my back doesn't seize up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking the older I get and the older anyone gets, the harder it is on your body to just be pain free, I guess. But I'm really thinking that, especially with me anyways, that the less I do of physical activity, just the worse and quicker the body just deteriorates. Because it's I remember when I did hurt my knee, it was 2 years ago, maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
But it's always been kind of fine. But now it's I'm not playing hockey. I'm not doing martial art. I'm not doing anything. It's things are just hurting more. And I'm what the hell? Anyways, I was just thinking about that. And
Yeah, no, you have to keep loose, I think. If you don't use it, you lose it.
is that a serious question?
Yeah, no. I don't know. I work out.
You work out every day. Which is
Yeah,
awesome.
I do. But
Working it out.
work it out.
Yeah. So anyways,
Anyways.
I don't know. That's it.
Yeah, so, but no, you did you get a lot done this week?
I got a lot of work done. Obviously, I was just coding away, and it's one of those grinds. We're building an application. Well, it's already built. We're kind of doing some improvements on it, and it just takes a little bit of time to actually just pound the pavement and pound the keyboard and get it out there. Because I'm hoping to get it out to the open before Christmas.
Yeah.
So people could actually sign up, register, start using it, hopefully sign up, pay us some money, which is nice to make some money, for Christmas time because somebody wants presents. Do you want presents?
Like, like I said, all I want is pajamas. I just want Christmas pajamas.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't need anything. I think maybe the only thing I would want would be like a couple of things for our gym downstairs.
Yeah, like what? We don't have enough down there?
No. I want one of those like the weighted vests.
Oh, those are expensive.
Yeah, well, I was gonna look online today to see if there was any like Black Friday deals, but I didn't get a chance. But like that or like one of those like
and put a rope and put some weights through the rope and then put that on your neck. There's your weighted vest for you. Yeah, people do that. They use the chain.
Well, I'm sure they do, but I have a bad neck to begin with, so I don't want to strain it anymore. Anyways, so and then the other thing would just be one of those like you have that big resistance band, I guess.
We have 4 of them.
No, but the one that's in a loop,
like a big elastic band.
Yeah, but like one for like legs to go around legs.
Those thinner ones that are not.
Well, no, this was like it's a thick one, but it's like small. It's like about this, right? Like that's the only other thing that I would want.
Yeah, those are like $5. I get you a set of those.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's it.
That's it.
Merry Christmas.
That's like a stocking stuffer. That's easy.
I don't do stocking stuffers.
We've never done stocking stuffers.
Who?
Either of us.
What are you talking about?
I do it for you.
That's
sorry.
Insane thing I've ever heard you say.
Sorry.
You lied straight to my face.
You never.
That's like the biggest thing.
You never do it for me. I guess.
I've never done it when I was a kid. We've never done stocking stuffers.
You didn't? Did you even have stockings?
No.
Weird.
The only time I got a stocking was from you. When I met you and we started dating and having Christmas like at your mom's house.
And like my mom made you like a beautiful our stockings are beautiful.
Well, she made us all.
Yeah.
Stocking stuffers, but
yeah, stockings. Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, it's not a stuffer. It's
it's
like an actual stocking.
Like a punctuation police here?
Hell yeah.
Or oh jeez. Yeah, you're behind. Jeez, what is that? Number 2?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, you don't have to go so fast. But hey, I see an empty glass. I'm gonna fill it.
You pour.
All right. Anyways, so let's get back onto today's topic of conversation because again, here we are 10 minutes in and we haven't even talked about anything. So, university or college too.
Yep.
Whatever. So, maybe a little bit of backstory, or not backstory, but you and I both have gone to university. Mm-hmm. You've done an undergrad degree for your bachelor's degree. So have I, but I've also done a master's degree.
I did like half of a master's.
Well, that's right, eh? Yeah. But then you washed out.
I didn't wash out. Yeah, I chose to leave.
Which, did you really?
Yeah, I did.
No, I know you did. But anyways, the point is not to discuss that. Maybe we'll get to that at some point, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
The point is that we've gone through university and I don't know, should I start by asking you what your thoughts are on it? Like, how was your university experience?
So I liked university. I liked the academic atmosphere, and it's not that it's easy for me, but I'd love to study and I love to learn. Sure. And so I could totally be one of those people that's in school for forever, getting like 1 million degrees. Like I could totally do that. Just because I like to learn. And it wouldn't even be for the degree. It would just be to take the class. Like I would go to a class at Laurentian right now just to sit in and listen to it because it's interesting.
So why don't you?
Well, no, I probably should. No, but anyways, but that doesn't get you a job, and I don't think anyone should go in debt, like crazy debt. Yeah, right? So yeah, no, I really enjoyed my university experience. It was like a rite of passage, and I had looked forward to it since I was.
Rite of passage? What do you mean by that?
Oh,
sorry,
well,
I'm not
no, I know. Well, I feel like it was just kind of like one of those things that society tells you have to go through, right? Like a rite of passage. So like going to like prom in high school is like a rite of passage, or like going through like frosh week in high school, right? One of those like rites of passage to get to like the next step kind of deal in your life. So I kind of felt like that's what it was.
Sure. I fundamentally disagree with that kind of thought process myself, but
well,
I
no, and
understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying that,
No, I understand what you're
right?
saying.
But I'm just saying like
I think that's a problem with society.
yeah,
saying
of
that
course.
This is what you have
That's
to
what
do.
you have to do. Well, no, and that's what I agree. I agree 100% with you. But overall, I enjoyed it. I would have preferred not to have gone into crazy debt because of it.
Well,
but
that brings up the major point. So,
what are your thoughts?
So what I want to do is kind of discuss. I think I have like, what do I have here? Like kind of 3 points as to why I think that post-secondary education is bullshit, and then I guess we can talk about like what situations I think that it is actually good for you to go to university.
Of course.
Because to be honest, I'm not saying nobody should ever go to university and that's it.
Oh no,
Close
of
all the doors.
course. Of course.
But I think people really need to put a lot more thought into why they want to go to university in the first place.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first reason why I think that university is bullshit is how the whole learning environment is structured and how both they teach and how the student is really kind of supposed to go ahead and learn. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me try to clarify.
Yeah.
So when you're in university, the whole point is to go to class, sit down in class, listen to a lecture, maybe take notes, and then read the textbook or whatever, answer questions, do your assignments or whatever it is, and then take a test, and then you pass, fail, whatever, and that's your grade. That type of learning, in my opinion, can easily be done on your own. If you wanted to learn and pick up a book
100%.
about a specific topic,
yes,
why spend $3,000 on one course to learn that specific topic when you could just go to the library, take out that class textbook, and just read it and then work on it on your own and then learn. Basically, there's a line in Good Will Hunting, which is kind of a movie. It's like, you spent $75,000 on a degree, which you could have spent
$13 and
$1.50 in late fees at the library, because that's so true. Whereas you could just read books on your own and actually learn something that you're actually interested in learning. Well, so that's one reason why I don't like university. It's how they structure it. And let me give you some examples as to how university went for me. A lot of the times in university, I never attended class.
A lot of the time?
Yes.
Let's say most of the time.
Okay, most of the time I didn't even attend class. So all I did was, outside of going to class, as I would just read the textbook or just read the notes and do the work on my own and then submit them and then take the damn test. And that was it. So some classes I never even went to class because there was no point to either the professor was boring or whatever. They just read notes straight out of the textbook or whatever. And then I just never went. The classes that I did go to were from professors that were energetic, that were really enthused about teaching. Those are the classes that I did attend.
Of course.
And if you wanted to attend those classes, go to university and you just walk into a class. No one's there taking attendance like high school or whatever. You could just walk in. No one's going to stop you. So if you want to attend the class, just go listen to the professor. And then read the book on your own.
So what I will say, because I agree with you, but what I will say on the opposite side of it is there are some classes, especially when you get to upper year, where it's not about being lectured at. It's about having done the readings and having a discussion. So upper year, it's more common for upper year, right? Obviously, if you're a freshman, that's not how your classes are going to be. It's going to be more lecture too. So just wait.
No.
So the other thing is, having discussion, I think, is really important. And even if you are in a first year class and there's question, if there's time for questions and people can ask some questions to clarify things that you might need answered, right? You can read things in the textbook, but sometimes there's questions that you might come up that you might have that you want to ask clarification for. And that's what the professor's there for,
this is
right?
Where a student has to have, a student really needs to know why they're in university and they need to be disciplined and structured enough to know when there's the TA's office hours, there's the professor's office hours.
Agreed.
And knock on their door and say, you're teaching me this stuff because I'm here to learn, because I have a specific goal of why I'm here. I'm paying you to teach me.
And so
You teach me.
And so 100% that goes
But
to
99.99%
motivation.
of students are like, I'm just here because
Yeah.
who knows why, right?
Well, it's not only that. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I maybe went to office hours like once because I was super intimidated of the professor or of just
Yeah.
you know how I am, right? I'm like very self-conscious and I'm very quiet. I can be.
Did you just hear what we're talking about at the Laurier University? And these professors talk like those guys
I know.
are
Well,
clueless.
now I
and
see
they're
it,
professors.
but
They're not
anyways.
on this pedestal of like super genius
But
guys.
but I
How many
think
people do we know that we went to
Well-
university and now they have quote unquote
Well, I
PhDs? Well,
know.
PhDs aren't quote actually have them,
professors,
but they're idiots.
but anyways, but what I'm saying is like I think like that could stop people too for, you know, it's a bit easier to ask a question when you're within a group and you're kind of like anonymous to put your hand up.
I see that
right?
even harder. Like, remember the first year chemistry class where there's 350 people?
Yeah, but then you're like,
wanna lift a hand up and ask a question. Like,
yeah.
maybe it's stupid or whatever. I don't want to ask it.
no, that's true too.
Everyone's different.
That's true
Like,
too.
I would never
It's
want
true
to ask a
too.
question. There's
It's
too
true
many
too.
people.
That's true too. So then my other thing is because our program was science, it was never just a lecture. It was a lecture plus a 3-hour lab.
Sure, they had labs.
Right? And so I think that was important.
It's not like you can't go get any of those chemicals at your local wherever and just do experiments on your own if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have like an ELISA or like a
What?
CRISPR, well, any of these like, you know, the lab equipment you need for like DNA cloning and all that stuff, right? Like,
You didn't do that in first year. Come on.
I did it in second.
Yeah. Did you?
I did. Microbiology.
Anyways.
You
yeah,
can't get
sure,
access
but
to like. Anyway, I'm just
you don't need
saying.
the equipment to.
What I'm saying is what do we with the
Fix it. Go ahead.
with the kids, like hands-on science is the way you learn best, and so that's the same thing with like the
Sure,
science labs that
absolutely.
you take. That's the best way to learn is to see it. So like I said, I agree with you 100% about.
Hey, you
About
don't have to agree
it?
with me. Don't
No,
agree with
I
me. Disagree
do.
with me. That's
But I'm just
perfect. We'll
saying
make
there's
for
a-
more interesting discussion.
But what I'm saying is like those are a couple of reasons why, if you know, and I think we need to kind of go back and you need to know your reasons.
Well, this will tie
right?
into exactly like what I'm gonna
Yeah.
want to summarize things at
Okay.
the end of like why you would want to go to university and why how you approach it will kind of trump all the reasons why I think it's bullshit, because
Yeah.
it's not bullshit if you know what you're doing and you know what you want.
Yeah.
Or and you say it right now, like for example, if you just know that you want to be a doctor, like I want to be a medical doctor,
You have to go to university. There's no choice.
So you're going to go to university, you're going to do undergrad, you're going to like, okay, well, I'm going to pick my biomed or whatever. You're going to do your biomed for 2 years. You're going to study your ass off. You're going to learn as much as you can. You're going to talk to the TAs. You're going to talk to the profs.
Yep.
You're going to get the best grades you can because you know why you're there. You're focused on your goal. Your goal is to become a doctor. And if you want to achieve that goal, you're going to have to work your ass off to get the grades, because that's what matters in when you're trying to be a doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after 2 years of undergrad or whatever, you take your MCAT or whatever it is, you pass it, you get to med school.
You have to get an undergrad.
Whoa, do you have to get the full blown undergrad? Because I thought people can go into med school even without finishing. Whatever.
No, I can't.
Fine, you finish your undergrad, then you go to med.
Yes. Whatever.
I'm
yes,
just saying. Okay, you know what I'm trying to say. So then you do your MCAT, then you go into med school, you do your career,
of course,
whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's
so you know what you
that's
want to
the
do,
path you have to go
and
through.
you cannot be a doctor without going to university.
Same
There's
with
just no way.
Well, how many professions are like that? Teachers, engineers. If you want to be a professor, all of those things.
Yeah,
it has.
If that's your career.
If that's your career goal, that's what you have to do.
You kind of have to go through the system.
So,
anyways.
Yeah. Go.
No, go ahead. You want to say something?
I was just gonna say, just like when I was a master's student and I was TAing in one of the labs.
TAing was the best thing.
I know, it was the best thing. It was so much fun.
Teaching other molding young minds.
Well, and because being a TA too, like you're pretty unsupervised, so you can really do whatever you want. Anyways,
remember my joke?
We'll get back to your joke. Anyway, it was actually the best joke ever.
Oh, man.
But anyways, I think the thing.
Do you know how many people would be triggered right now if I said that joke?
So
like
many.
Now, because
so
that was
many.
like 15 years ago.
It was
not that long ago, but
actually, like, I think it. It almost was.
When was I a master's student? I was master's in 2010. No, I graduated in 2010. Oh, geez.
Yeah, you're old, man.
I finished my master's in 2010.
You're old.
So that was almost, I was like, it would have been 10
You're
years ago.
old, dude. You're old.
Man, if it still rings true.
Anyways, when I was TAing one of the labs,
what'd you TA?
what did I TA? I forget now. Invertebrate.
Oh, Dave Barton's class.
Yeah, obviously, I was his student.
Tara and Muhammad were my TAs, eh?
Yeah, Tara was my TA too. Anyways, so but I was like really approachable. Like I was like nice and fun, and I spent a lot of time like prepping because I had never. This is what's fucked up is I knew.
When that partner was Annie.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Anyway, so what's fucked up is like I TA'd that class. I never took that class in undergrad.
You don't have to. That's how ridiculous it is. How you could just learn the stuff on your own.
Well, yeah. So, anyways,
so
I was like super prepared for my lab. But a lot of the girls would come up to me and they would be like, "Well, you're a grad student. Like, what advice do you have for us undergrads?" Because this is a first year course.
Drop out of school.
No, and always I said I could because they were always saying like we have student loans and like blah blah blah, and I was like, you need to know why you're here. You need to have a plan when you get out so that you can get a job and pay back your loans. And that's what I said to each and every one of them. I was like, you need to have a plan.
But this is another problem though. Even if you have a plan, it doesn't matter because I think the university, the whole like high school sells you this notion that you're going to go to university and you're going to be able to get a job and you're going to climb the ladders, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have success and you're happily ever after, right?
Or just you get a degree and like success is guaranteed.
Or it's no problem getting a job. It is ridiculous.
You're gonna have a spouse, 2.5 kids, and a dog, and whatever.
And who even says that's what defines happiness anyways,
exactly.
Right? It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
But like, anyways, you finish what you were going to say.
That was it. That was it. They would just come up and ask me, and because I was so disillusioned by that point that's why part of the reason why I quit the masters is whole many reasons. But anyways, and it
wasn't for you. You didn't like what you were doing. It was like, why am I here?
But it was just like, you need to have a plan. You can't just keep going on and just doing things for the sake of doing things. You need to have a plan because at the end of the day, you're paying all of this money in tuition and you have to pay it back if you're taking out a student loan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You have to have a plan on how to pay it back.
Yeah. So that brings me back, brings me to point number two. Of why university is bullshit. And it's student loans and the debt that it carries.
Yes.
Any kind of debt should be avoided like the plague.
Yes.
When I was a kid, university was pushed on me, as in like, it wasn't even, to me, when I was growing up and then when I went to university, it wasn't even an option to do something else. It was just like, this is just kind of what you had to do. Like, you woke up and you went to school. It was like, that's what you have to do. And then I was like, well, I just have to go to university now. This is just what I have to do because that's what you do. Yeah. And I literally had no clue that I couldn't even not do that. It was like, this is what I had to do, and that was it. There was nothing else I could possibly do. Yeah. Like travel the world or whatever. Like, I didn't even have a clue as to that being
the other
possibility,
options. Yeah.
Which is a whole another problem.
Of course.
In itself. But anyways, so what did I do? Of course, couldn't afford it, obviously, and I didn't have any scholarships, so let's take out student loans. And it was just like, oh, no problem. So I applied for OSAP, $10,000 the first year. Basically $10,000 for 4 years for going to school. So by the time I finished university, I had $40,000 in debt.
By the time you finished undergrad.
And then I also did a master's, which is another $10,000 a year. So that was, you add that, I don't know. It was like, I think maybe it's not quite 10,000. I think in total, all of my university debts were about $55,000 or so. Maybe a little bit more. And about 30 or 35,000 of them was through the government, and the rest was through the bank, which private corporations, which is even worse.
Which you don't even know any of the politics or any of that stuff going into it, right? Like,
well, I didn't know because I didn't even know there was a choice outside of university.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
the point is that for a lifestyle choice, debt should be avoided at all costs. Nothing is worth going into debt for. Yeah. If I were to do it all over again, if you want to go to university, go part-time, get a part-time job, work, pay what you can, and get your degree at your own pace. Great. If you're a student in school, even if you're a part-time student, the tax benefits are huge. Yep. And the lifestyle, like you said, like I enjoyed the lifestyle of being a student. It was
a lot fantastic. Of fun. We had so much fun. No responsibilities.
You don't know kids. Nothing. Parenting stuff. You're just out with your friends and if you're not going to class. And
but even the thing is like if you're in a program that you want to be in and you're taking stuff that you want to learn about, then it's actually fun because you want to learn about it. So it's fun.
The thing is too, it can still even be very cliquey like it is in high school where that.
Oh yeah, of course.
When you're in a specific program, you're with the same people and you kind of want to go with them semester to semester and everyone's taking the 5 courses a term or whatever. Yeah. And like if you want to graduate with your buddies, all that kind of stuff, then you're going to want to do that. But I would advise against that if you can't afford it because
but the thing is like university is such a big place that you're going to meet people in every single class.
Exactly. So you'll meet new people. There's always new students coming in.
Oh, of course.
All shapes and sizes and ages, right? Like it's a great place to meet people in every single class. I met so many different people.
Well, I think that's I think one of the big like pros about it is for me coming from a super small town, we had literally 2 Black people in our town that had been adopted by a white family. This is how small my hometown is.
Should I be triggered right now?
You should totally be triggered right now. But I'm telling you, like moving to Waterloo and going to a more like cosmopolitan it's not, but to me it was Waterloo. I know, right? But anyways, the point is it opens you up to so many new experiences and cultures that I had never been exposed to before.
Easy with that word, culture. Easy with that word.
You know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. I have a problem with that. Anyways. That is for another topic podcast. For another day because we're talking about the university. So anyways, the whole point is if you can avoid debt, avoid it because student debt is like the worst type of debt. Like people say, oh, there's good debt. There's no good debt. Like, oh, I got a house is good debt. Yeah. Tell that to those people that lost their whole retirement fund in 2008 when the whole market crashed because they had a house and it was quote unquote good debt. Yeah. Debt is bad, period. There's no good debt. So don't fool yourself into thinking otherwise. And to get debt, even though it's an investment in yourself, it's just avoid it if you can. Don't take it.
Figure it out. I mean, like, well, and the 2 of us, I mean, you worked how many jobs that one summer?
I don't know.
You worked like 2 jobs. One was like a night shift and one was a day shift.
Yeah, I was working at Home Depot.
How the fuck does that work?
I was working at Home Depot during the day, so I'd work like, the 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift or whatever. So that's like the 9-hour shift or whatever. Yeah. And then I'd go home and sleep for like an hour. Then I'd have to work the 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. to like 6 a.m. stock shift at Sobeys, the restaurant or whatever, or the restaurant, the grocery store. And then 6 a.m. I go home, sleep for maybe an hour or 2, and then go back again for a 10 to 8 shift at Home Depot and just rinse, repeat, recycle. I like hardly ever slept. And
I worked like a dog too. I was always getting as many hours as I could at Zayres. I worked, I don't know how many 12-hour days as well. Oh. I liked working there though.
Why are you complaining?
I'm not. I'm just saying we both worked our asses off, right? And that's hard to hold a job and go to university at the same time.
We still had mountains of debt. Anyways.
Exactly.
the thing, the
I'm just,
reason why,
but I'm just saying the point is it's not like, oh, we're just lazy. We're just taking like student loans because, oh, we just don't want to work. No, we
no,
fucking
I didn't know any
worked our
better. I
fucking ass.
didn't know any better.
We didn't,
And
but the point is that the
but
student loans really only covered like tuition and books.
that's
We
because
worked,
we were so broke.
we
Because if you have
work our
literally
fucking asses
if you have
off.
zero money, well, here's the thing, because you got to pay your tuition and then you have to pay your books. But then the other thing that's really expensive, that's even more, is just your food and lodging. That's what really gets you. It's like the cost of living, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like just university on its own, I think when we were taking it, tuition was about $2,500 a term. It kept on going up and up and up, but it was about $2,500 to $3,000, and then books maybe another $500 or whatever. If you get
No,
them used or
it
whatever.
was like 25 a term, including books,
a term,
including books.
No. It was $2,500 plus books. Anyways, I remember.
What up?
So it was like $3,000. So that's not so bad per term, anyways. So $6,000 a year. But then, what are you gonna eat? Where are you gonna live? Right? That's you got to pay for that. So that's what costs the most amount of money.
Exactly.
So, but anyways, the thing about why student debt is so bad is because like it's just as bad in the U.S. as it is here. Probably even worse in the U.S.
No, it's worse than the U.S.
Well, the same thing that's in the U.S. is the same thing that here. If you have debt here in Canada, and if you apply for bankruptcy for whatever reason, student loans cannot be discharged if you apply for bankruptcy. If you've been out of school for less than, I think it's 7 years here in Canada. So if you get out of school and you have a $50,000 student loan, so then you have like, $400 a month of payments or whatever, and you can't get a job because, hey,
the economy
3,000 other people have graduated with the same goddamn degree that I have. And there's 2 job postings at the one place that is hiring somebody with my degree, and I can't get a job, or like, and
then for us,
whatever, you got your girlfriend knocked up, something happened.
But then for us, it was like 2008. That's when the economy tanked.
Well, that's why I went back to.
That's why you went to school, because there was no jobs.
Actually, I went to school in 2007, but I couldn't get a job after that. But anyways,
because the economy had tanked and we had a shitty prime minister who cut up every science job.
All right,
anyways,
just calm down. You're getting way too
political.
Anyways, the thing is though, but if you apply for bankruptcy, those loans, they're going to carry that. You can't discharge your student loans in bankruptcy, which is insane.
Okay, so in Canada, you have to wait I think it's 7 years.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole point. What if you can't get a job after? In the States, I think it's never. I don't think it. I was just gonna
say. In Canada, we're lucky. In the United States,
lucky.
In the United States, it's never. You cannot ever get rid of your student loans. It's with you forever. You cannot discharge it in bankruptcy. It's with you forever.
Yeah, and those ones are crazy because
they
have very, very low monthly payments if you want, because student loans, okay, pay $100 a month or whatever, but it's like it doesn't even cover interest, so it's like you end up owing more.
I know,
and I guess it's just like it handcuffs you for like the rest of your life, and you don't have an. Sorry, I'll just say this.
Of course,
when you're starting university, you have this notion of, I'm going to go university. Yeah, I might get $50,000-$60,000 in debt. And this is Canada, by the way. Yeah. So in the States, it's like 6 digits of debt because school is so much more expensive in the States.
Yep.
But anyways, there's this notion that I'm going to finish university and then I'm going to get a job that pays $90,000 or whatever, and then I'll be able to pay. It's like, no, where are these jobs? You're not getting these jobs. And the thing is, what I learned the hard way is like these introductory jobs are like 40 to 50K a year.
Yep.
And if it's just you, okay, that's not so
fine.
bad. It's
if
not so
you
bad.
have a family, it's a different story.
If you have a family and it's like one person's not working, I mean, it's always been for us too, I guess. Maybe my perception is a little bit skewed because it's always been you're with the kids and I'm working. So it's like, well, I have to have a salary that pays for both of us in a sense. So that's always been a little bit tough, but it's still low. Like 40K a year is pretty low.
Yeah.
Anyways, after spending $50,000 on
so
education, and by the getting that much and then trying to like, oh, well then I gotta buy a house now, I gotta do
Yeah.
this now. It's
So
like, how are you gonna afford to pay all this back?
Yes.
In a
So
reasonable amount of time, not like in 15 years.
So one thing there, and we've talked about this before, is what's really interesting is like both your dad and your mom both had post-secondary education. I come up from a family where there was no post-secondary education, yet my parents were middle class because they were able to get jobs somehow.
They got jobs right after high school back in the day when you can actually get a job, work your way up in the company, or just and have a stable job.
So we were definitely middle class, but they never went to post-secondary, and that's why for me to go to university was like it was a big deal, right? Like, and I'm still like, I'm the only one that's gone to post-secondary. My brother didn't go.
Well, he went to some kind of college.
It's just me. So anyways.
We'll just leave that as it is. We'll put a pin in it.
Drop it like it's hot. Boop. Drop it like it's hot.
He got some kind of certificate.
Yeah.
Let's not.
He did.
He got it.
Anyways, but what I'm saying is that, man, you interrupt and I lose my train of thought, motherfucker.
This is what happens when you get a degree. You just think you think too much, and then you overanalyze.
This is what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
The point is that when my mom would take courses at university, and I would see her take courses, and I was like, yeah, like I want to go to university because like she says like how awesome it is, because she always did night courses, right? She wanted to get her bachelor's eventually.
Sure.
She wanted
that. Did she get it?
She didn't.
She did?
She didn't.
Oh, she didn't. Yeah,
No.
I didn't think she had it.
No.
I didn't think so.
Anyways, doesn't matter. She's wildly successful.
Whoa, calm down on the wildly there.
I feel like she is.
Of the,
what I'm saying is like she's very successful. It doesn't fucking matter, right? It doesn't.
I'm not, she's
it
doing
doesn't.
Business stuff, which is to me that's the ultimate success.
This is what I'm saying, right? This is what I'm saying. So, anyways, but what I'm saying is, so to get a bachelor's, like in her generation, was a big fucking deal because not a lot of people had bachelors. In our generation, everyone has a bachelor's.
I don't know what the numbers
market.
Are, so
the market.
Neither confirm nor deny.
But the market is fucking. I mean, you see on job listings, right? A bachelor's is fucking nothing because everyone has it.
Even with all the swearing,
even a master's is just like, yeah, you need to have a PhD. You not only have a PhD, you need to be fucking published. You know, like.
Well, if you're getting a PhD, you should damn well be published, though.
But like continually, even talking to friends, Jen, like it's like there's such high competition, right? You have to continually be like putting out stuff. But I mean, especially if you want to be a professor, like there's competition there. You have to be published all the time. Of course there is. I'm just saying the market's flooded with people with bachelors.
But this is getting to another point.
Yeah, it is.
Academics and the problem with academics and how it's fueled by funding and its publications.
Of course.
And then people falsified. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem with. That's a whole nother issue.
So then
this is not about.
No. But what I'm just saying is like the point is that the market right now is everyone has a bachelor's, so you have to do something to set yourself apart, which is then you go back to school, become more in debt, to get a master's. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a vicious fucking cycle.
It is, but I mean, without my master's, I probably wouldn't be where I am today in terms of the jobs that I did get.
True.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But that's issue number 2.
Okay, so
the debt.
So can I just like one more point in this?
You can make as many points as you need.
Okay. So the point with the debt is when we went to Cuba
2005, 2006?
2006.
Early January 2006.
January 2006. February. It was February. Anyways.
Sure.
I was pregnant with Tristan.
I know you were.
Anyways.
You're pregnant with him in January as well.
I was? Anyways. We went to one of those like excursions, right? Where you go through and whatever.
We went to one excursion.
So they were saying how like, they were passed by their university, which was kind of sad looking. However, they're like, well, post-secondary education here in Cuba is free. And that like blew my mind. I'm like, that's a thing?
It's free in Europe too, isn't it?
It's
And well, not, I don't know, in every single country, but
in most countries in Europe, it's
education should be
free.
If you want
It's
a productive society where your citizens,
You want to educate your people.
you got to educate your people, and
Yeah.
education and knowledge is the way to success.
But I'm just saying,
you have to outthink everyone else and keep innovating.
That was the first time I had ever heard that post-secondary education could be free and paid by your government. And it blew my fucking mind, because you don't think of Cuba as a place that would have like, I don't know, for me, right? Like what we saw of Cuba, it was not like...
Anyways, well, I'm not going to get into
Well, that's a whole different thing, but what I'm saying,
right
but for me, it's like, but for me, it was just like, that blew my mind, because I'm like, that's freaking amazing that education, post-secondary education could be free there. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, it could be free
Obviously,
anywhere.
quality might be different, whatever,
But this
whatever.
is the thing, right?
But it's
knowledge
just like,
is knowledge. Do you have it, or do you not?
yes, but the whole
at the
point
end
is the value of what that country has.
Again, education, right? Like whether someone goes to Hale or Harvard.
Did you say
Yale.
you said Hale?
Hale. See, I'm getting them all
It's
confused.
Yale and Harvard.
Yale, Harvard, Princeton, MIT, like whatever, like or whoever skews the McLean's rankings for the best.
They only
university,
rank Canadian universities.
which is all bullshit, anyways.
Yes,
Whoever
I
paid it,
know.
It's just,
But it's actually always
know,
Waterloo.
of course it is. But who do they pay off? Is it the best? No, I went there. I'm like, it's shit. It's not shit. It's just like the class sizes are huge. The one-on-one time with professors are minimal, and it's like an education
Depends on what you want.
An education is, do you understand the material? Do you know what you're talking about?
Yes.
How good are you with
Absolutely.
how you can teach all this kind of stuff,
Of
right?
course.
Like it's like, just do you know your shit?
Of course.
And whether you actually learn the stuff is not dependent on the school you go to. It depends on the effort that you're willing to put into.
Of course
Like
it
I said,
does.
the guy who goes to the
individual.
library every day and reads and gets his knowledge, he's going to be smarter than anybody that goes to university.
Yep.
But yeah, if you want a specific job in a certain field, like we were talking about earlier, if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you have to play the game.
Gotta play the
You
game.
just have to. So, anyways, so
Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
I hate the Taylor. Anyways,
Hashtags bad boys too.
yes. So I hope the third one's coming out at some point, because that'd be pretty awesome. Although they're like 50 years old now, so it's like bad boys out of retirement.
Hashtag Will Smith forever.
Well, not forever. Maybe a decade more, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, he's still pretty good.
I don't know. Sean Connery is what? He's like 80, 90?
Yeah. When was his last movie?
It doesn't matter. He's Sean fucking Connery.
Yeah, when was his last movie is what I'm saying.
I have no idea.
Exactly. That's my whole point. You can't act forever. Sooner or later, he's going to be dead. And it's not going to be Sean Connery forever. It's going to be like Sean Connery 2022 when he died. You know, it's like, that's it. It's not forever. It's 2022.
Anyways. Okay.
So
your next point.
So anyways, this podcast is like so derailed. It's ridiculous.
It's good.
So the third reason why I think it's just kind of bullshit is that, especially if you're going into university because you don't know what you want to do with your life, there are so many other better ways to experience life and to learn actual useful knowledge that you're going to use throughout your life than going to university. So, for example, travel the world, visit different peoples, different cultures, if you will, and experience how other people live, and just talk to other people.
Yeah.
Just talking to people that have different opinions than you, that different experiences and different worldviews than you. That's how you learn.
That's how you.
Because at the end of the
broaden
day,
your mind.
it's how the world works, and like what is the real world, right? Like, I'm sorry, the university, like
it's not
that
a real
lifestyle
world.
is not the real world.
It's not a
because
real world experience.
You finish university and you're like, oh shit, what now? Like, I have no idea. I'm not even prepared for this. Just like we were not prepared for the real world, even after spending all this money and having this degree that hangs up on our it's not even on our wall. It's like in the basement somewhere, right? Like these expensive over 6 figures of papers we have in our basement between the two of us. That, anyways,
Yeah.
it did not teach us anything in terms of how to actually interact with the world.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what you want to do and you just want to learn about the world, then see the world. Don't read textbooks. Go see the world. Like I said before, like if you want to read textbooks and you want to learn about chemistry, fine, read the textbooks. But if you want to learn about how people live their day-to-day lives and how the world works, then see the world. Go to, especially when you're young, if you're single or you just don't have kids, and like it's so cheap to go travel to different countries and see different places. I wish that I finished high school. I'd be like, I'm taking my backpack, the clothes on my back, and I'm out of here. I'm like just living. I'm going to go to Europe and I'm going to, go in hostels or wherever. And it's like, it's so cheap to get around. And like, if you don't care about like, oh, I'm just eating like apples and oranges or I'm just sleeping in hostels for like $10 a night or whatever. Yeah. Or like working during the day in like another restaurant and just washing dishes, which is amazing because you're in a different country and you're learning about how regular people
or maybe even learning a new language. Exactly. Like of course
there's nothing to it, and that is so much better than spending $40,000, $50,000, even $100,000 on some education, which you could have gotten from just reading books at a library, and you're no further ahead because you don't know what you want to do, and then you're in debt. It makes no sense. Spend $100,000 on traveling the world if you want to. That's a much better experience. Much better experience. Yeah. And then you could at least take those memories with you for the rest of your life, and you could actually learn something about how other people in the world are and how to interact with them.
And so but the other point is too here is I feel like we're kind of just presenting like two choices where you know exactly what you want to do, and so that's why you go to university, or you're kind of fuzzy.
I want to be an astronaut or whatever.
And that's what you want to do.
Great.
Yeah.
Do your engineering, do your science, whatever.
Like I really feel like there's some people that I know from high school where they've gone to university and they're not like us, right? Like they're in the Matrix and they just kind of take whatever job they can. They plug themselves in because
so are we to an extent. But we know we're in it. But
that's the point, right?
We're trying to get out.
Yeah. But I guess that's kind of the point too, is like you don't want your kids to be in that position, and I feel like that for us is why. I mean, how many people ask us, oh well, how are the kids going to get into university? What are they going to do about like high school? How are they going to get into university?
Who gives a shit about that?
And that's like, if they want to get to university,
it's not hard.
It's not hard.
It's really not hard.
And we will figure out. I will fight. I've already fought my ass off for my kids. I'll fight my ass off to get them into university. If that's what they want to do, then we'll do it.
Well, yeah, you can't. I know what you're saying, but you can't just social justice warrior your way into the kid getting into school.
That's what I'm saying. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying, like, I will work with them and I'll study with them and help them to get whatever marks they need and help them, tutor them to get them in, if that's what they want, right? But this is the thing too.
It's not that they're like, oh, I want to go to university just because. It's like, no, I want to become a this and that.
There's a plan.
And if whatever that thing that they want to become requires you to go to university or college or whatever, then you work.
Then that's what our plan is.
I mean, that's why right now, like, right now, I'm super happy if the kids decide that they don't ever want to go to college or university. Yeah, that's fine.
I know,
but we still are putting money in to RESP in case they do.
In case they do. Because
again, this isn't a financial financial podcast. But 20% the government kicks in terms of whatever you pay. Like if you put in $100, they put in $20 to your investment, whatever, up to like whatever it is. It's like 20% return on your investment, and the kids can have that for their university or college fund.
Yeah, of course.
It's like,
it's a no-brainer.
Anyways. What's the point? What are we talking about?
Just if the kids don't want to go to university.
If they don't want to go, then that is fine. They don't have to go. But if they have a specific goal, yes.
Well, yes, but I think,
we'll work with them to make sure that they'll have all the tools necessary to get in and to
But
do
I
what they want
think,
to do.
but I think the point is like we are living in a world today where you can make your own job. You don't have to have post-secondary education if you don't want it. You can make your own job. You can make your own business.
You have to work really hard though. Like, let's not make any.
No, of
It's
course
not-
that has to be your life.
Yeah, like you can't. Like, not everyone's gonna like Mark Zuckerberg this thing and like build something. And I'm gonna be a billionaire. Like,
No,
it's
of course
a lot
not.
hard
Of course
work.
not. It's hard. It's hard work.
Entrepreneurship is like you're building something from scratch, right?
But okay,
so much more
so
rewarding, obviously, than working for the people. But it's hard. You gotta want it, and you gotta
Okay.
do it.
so then what I'm gonna say is I really feel like I don't want to get up on a soapbox or anything, but I really
What
feel
does that even mean? Get up on a soapbox. What the hell? Like a slippery box? Like, what does it mean? Like you're slipping down on something?
you don't know this like
No.
idiom?
A
Really?
soapbox. So it's like up something like you wash them off the soap. What is this? What does this mean? Soapbox.
There's like so many like
Like
idiom.
a soap, like the stuff that you clean yourself with. Soap.
Can I explain? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm trying to guess. Am I close?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
But does it have anything to do with cleaning yourself?
No.
Why is it
Well, a
called
little bit.
soapbox?
A little bit. Okay. Can you let me explain this?
I'm letting
Saying?
you. I'm
Okay.
waiting.
So there is a saying. It's been around for quite a while. I know you have a problem with sayings. This
I don't
is
have a
actually
problem with sayings.
This is
I have a
actually
problem with stupid sayings.
this is a really big thing. Ever since I've known Odom,
It's not that big.
he
I've
doesn't
never heard
he
of it.
doesn't know. There's like so many like sayings that
Who
I'm
are you
just
talking
like
to? You're talking to me. Now you're talking to them.
I'm talking to them.
I'm talking
There's
to
so
them.
many
Talk to
like
me.
there's so many sayings he doesn't know and he like doesn't get, and I've had to like explain to
Talking
him.
like I'm not
And
here.
so obviously getting up on your soapbox is something I have to explain to him. So just so you have a background as
You
to
explain it to me. God damn it. Stop it. What is the soapbox?
So when someone says, I don't want to get up on my soapbox,
Which I've never heard before, so no one says
means
this. No one says this, by the way.
I don't know. I don't exactly know the origin of this saying or idiom, but
You're not explaining this to me, so
I'm
look it
going
up
to
here
explain to you
because
right now.
It's been like 10 minutes.
it's when someone says they're getting up on their soapbox, is they're getting up and they're speaking down to you about something they think they know. They feel like they're superior to you.
A soapbox is a raised platform on which one stands to make an impromptu speech, often about a political subject.
Well, it's not really political, but
Often about a political
and now I don't even
subject.
know what we were talking about because you.
The term originates from the days when speakers would elevate themselves by
Yes.
standing on a wooden crate
Yes.
originally used for shipment of soap or other dry goods from
Yes.
a manufacturer to a retail store.
So, but my point is, and why I don't want to get up on my soapbox, but we are homeschooling the children, and I feel like they, at this point, take more responsibility and have more motivation for their learning than kids that are in school.
Oh, you're not only on a soapbox, you just bought the entire factory.
I'm gonna surf on that motherfucker.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
This makes no sense whatsoever.
Anyways, I'm just saying, but what I'm just saying is like, I really feel like that's what part of school is, and it's another reason why we don't school, right?
Why we homeschool. Why we don't send them to regular school.
Yes.
But yeah, this is the whole thing with homeschool is that we're going to teach the kids, or we're teaching the kids how to think on their own, think critically, and they can decide for themselves what they want to do. And they're not going to be forced into anything, and they're going to be armed with all the knowledge by the time they're, 16, 17 when you're off to
When they
university.
have to
They're going to be armed
make
with how
those
to deal with money. They're going to be
decisions.
armed with
Yeah.
debt and loans and what it means and financial responsibility and
Yeah.
family and
Well,
taking
and
care
even,
of yourself and other people and life. Like, I want to travel with the kids. Like, we're going to teach them all these skills that you actually need to make decisions in life.
Yeah.
Like, so much of stuff
Agreed.
in high school has nothing to do
Nothing
with
to
actually
do.
living life. It's like, well, you want to go to university?
No.
Oh, well, then take a loan. Here's OSAP. Take it, no problem. You just pay for it and blah, blah, blah.
Plug yourself into the
It's just
matrix.
like, no one ever said anything about like you should think about how you're gonna pay this back at the end, because it was always just like go to university, you'll get the job, and then that's it.
Well, what I'm gonna say is like because I come from a family where my parents had never been to post-secondary education, they didn't really like understand like the cost. They didn't really
Well, that's another whole thing.
understand
They
that,
didn't
right?
understand like how much it actually does
And
cost.
so it was just about like, this is, we love you, you're our daughter, like this is what we know, and we see this potential in you, and you need to go to university because whatever. They didn't like understand like the ramifications of, I had my first year paid for me, which from, and it wasn't even really from them, it was from like inheritance from when my grandparents
Sure.
died, right? Like they didn't put money away. The only money I had was from inheritance from my grandparents. And so that's the only reason why it was paid for. They didn't understand the
1 year.
ramifications
Sure.
of what it meant to go to
The
university,
thing too
right?
is
Like,
it's not even that expensive if you're thinking like, if you want to live on the cheap because you sublet or whatever, and it's
yeah.
you know, your housing is maybe, I mean, back then it was like $300-400 a month. Maybe now it's like $600-700. I don't know, whatever. But like, it doesn't cost. You don't need a $50,000 a year salary to live. Like, it could
Of
10,
course not.
15 or whatever. So the
course
whole point
not.
is spend a little bit less on your tuition by doing it part time,
Yep.
and then work while you're in school, and you're not as stressed out about it, because like,
Oh God.
it is stressful when you have like
classes.
5 courses and labs, and then you got like
We had
6 exams in like 1 week's period, and it's
no,
like,
we had
whatever,
like,
right? Like,
but
all
the thing
that
is,
stuff.
yeah, we had like 30
No, it
hours,
was about 30 hours a week
of class,
classes.
and then if you need to work, and then you need to study,
because that's like having a full-time job, and then your full-time job is learning that stuff that you're learning. Like, it's too
That's
much,
a
right?
lot.
It's too much. So tone down your stress. Like I said, you can pay for it while working, even if it is just a shitty, not minimum wage, but kind of close to minimum wage. You can do it. Like,
you can do it.
Minimum wage is still pretty shitty like that. I won't get started on that, but
But anyways,
just don't take out debt. Just don't do it. If you're thinking about
it's not worth it.
Unless you know what you want, and you're
gonna come out on the other end
super dedicated to knowing, and
Agreed.
then you're gonna work hard, and you're gonna finish the top, and it's like, you're like, I'm gonna get the job. You know, I'm gonna be the lawyer. I'm gonna be
the doctor, the whatever,
engineer,
surgeon,
software developer,
whatever.
And then I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna make that.
Of course.
My first job's gonna be 60-70K a year, and then blah blah blah.
Well, of course.
Then if that's what you want, then go for it.
Then go for it.
I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna say it's bad. So anyways, those are 3 reasons why I think it's just bullshit. It's the debt, it's the learning environment. Just go learn on your own. And it's what's the other one? What's the third one? What's the debt? What do I have written down? The cost. So, and the experience of like, you can just go learn on, if you want to just learn stuff, go on your own. I think that was one of the points, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. So the whole point is, and then to bring it back, if you want to go to university, I don't think that university as a whole is a bad thing. No. It's not. It has its flaws in how it operates, and we alluded to this a little bit before, talking about how professors have to operate in terms of they have to be public, they have to publish, and they have to show to the faculty that they're a member that's going to contribute to the university by publishing papers, getting funding into the university.
Getting
it's all
prestige.
about money.
It's about money,
prestige. And
this
goes back even to this whole Laurier thing that happened with these professors. And it's like, Laurier now is in such a bad PR stunt that like people are like, I'm not sending my kids to Laurier. I'm not donating any money to you, and they're getting hurt by their bottom line. And it's the dollars that count. And when it's
not just the dollars, it's the alumni that have wrote in and saying, I'm not contributing anything to you,
well, of course,
and I'm like disavowing you.
Well,
that's a huge deal.
The point.
Your reputation is down the fucking toilet.
It's Laurier. Sorry. They don't have a reputation anyways, because
they're the high school
Waterloo. They're the high school down the street. Exactly. If you go to University of Waterloo, which we did, it's like Laurier is like the high school down the street, because they're like 5 minutes away. But it's like, you can go to the high school if you want to. But the point is, though, is that education systems are driven by profit and money, and when that comes in, everything else can get it just melts away. Then the well-being of the actual student is not the priority.
No,
just
it's the bottom
has been
line.
shown
It's the bottom
in this
line.
story. I think it's not about the students. This is just about the money.
It's about the money.
And it's unfortunate, right? So if you don't know what you want to do, don't go to university just because that's the next step.
No.
Or like you said, it's the rite of passage. It's not.
It's not.
There's so many other ways.
Yes.
Go against what society says, because society, is all the norm of society really actually good? Like, you gotta be this skinny, you gotta have this and that, you gotta have this house,
or it's just like,
cars. It's
you don't know what
bullshit.
you don't know what you want to do. Work for a year.
Follow your heart. Just
work for a year. Ask your parents to live with them for a year and sock all of that money away, and then figure it out. Whether it's travel or going to school, whatever it is.
Or if you want to go to university too, go to university where you can live at home. That'll cut your. I know people that have gone through university and they stay at home. Yeah, if you don't want to, then that's fine. But come on, they stay at home and they show me their bank accounts. They have like $60,000 saved up because they didn't have that expense. Yeah, I know if you don't want. I'm just saying it's an alternative, right?
It is.
Not everyone has.
Would you have gone to Laurentian?
No, I wouldn't, because you know that for me, I just want to get out of the house regardless, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't have. Some people have the great relationship with their parents too. Like, I would want to have the great relationship with my kids, that they would even want to stay with us.
Oh, I want them to.
But I don't want them to, because I want to get out of here, right? But
no.
But the point is that if you can stay with your parents and they're cool with it or whatever, because you're just adults, you're just living, then do it. That'll save. That's like 60 to 70% of your income is like your food and shelter
expenses. So not your income, your expenses.
If you go to university full time and still work part time,
think how much, if you work part time, think how much more money you could like save to go out like clubbing or whatever, because finally you're of age and.
You're totally taking this out of context. I'm not talking about going to clubs.
Yeah,
if you want to just go to clubs, just go to clubs. Then don't go to university.
Exactly.
You're terrible. You are terrible.
I'm a horrible influence.
You have totally negated the whole point of this. Here's the point. If you want to go to university, go to university.
But
if you know exactly what you want to do.
Have a plan.
No. Even if you have a plan, it doesn't matter, because I can have my plan to go to university and get a job after, but you can go to university and not get the job after.
That's not what I'm saying.
But it's a specific type of job.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to go get my Bachelor of Science.
Be a teacher.
And then you're not guaranteed. You got to even know where you want to teach, because certain districts are so... How many people do you know that went to teach college and couldn't get a job in Toronto or wherever because it's so saturated with teachers?
Yes.
And even then, you're saturated. You're trying to get a job that's saturated and yet starts at like 35, 40K a year.
Yes.
And living in Toronto.
So
where the average house price is $1.2 million. That's not a good plan. That's a shitty, fucking terrible plan. And do not give that advice on this podcast, because that is terrible advice. Okay? So... Whoa. You can't just have a plan.
I think you know what I'm saying.
A good plan. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
But these people who are listening might not. And I'm telling you, just don't listen to what she's saying. Told. Because
I've been told.
Have a plan. Yeah, I got a plan. It's like, I go to the club. I got a plan to get laid tonight by the hottest chick ever. Yeah, okay. You have that plan. Okay. But does that hottest chick in the bar have a plan to sleep with you and your ugly ass? No, she doesn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking about yourself?
Yes, I am. And that plan didn't work. For the most part.
I was going to say, didn't it though?
I didn't meet you at the bar. I met you on the chick floor, as we were putting it. Cruising for chicks.
That's a whole other podcast, my friend.
Cruising for chicks. That's on podcast number 372. If you'll stick around till then. But until then, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for listening.
And yeah, this was terrible.
What?
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
I thought it was
because
really good.
I don't think people that are listening who are like, I might want to go to university. What should I do? I don't think they got any valuable advice.
I think they got a ton of valuable advice.
They should. The advice is don't go to university. That's
the advice is know what you want to do. If you don't
go.
Don't go.
Spend your money on other things.
Take some time and think about it.
And travel the world and get a real education of like how real people live.
Yeah.
The thing too, I will say, is every single job that I've ever had, I could have learned how to do the things in that job without going to school. Maybe for most of the stuff. But for the stuff when I'm working at the university, having that education and knowing what we were trying to do, it has helped quite a bit, obviously. But a lot of the times you can learn on the job as well too.
You totally can.
So as long as you can,
totally can
demonstrate that you can do the work, you don't have to go to school. Like if you want to become a software designer to design the next app, you don't have to go to school to do computer science.
No.
If you can just write your code and write applications from just learning online or whatever, which you can do so easily now, people will hire you.
Yep.
You can write the code, you can hack, whatever. It's like you're obviously, look what you've done. You have the proof. It's like what I've always said about people that are like, oh well, I want to go to school and study nutrition and health and whatever, and I want to get my degree, and then I'm going to be a personal trainer, blah blah blah. It's like, who would you rather trust? You want to trust a personal trainer that weighs 250 pounds, that's overweight, that has like no muscle, but has a degree hanging on their wall? Or the person that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, that it's like, oh, I never went to school, but I pumped the iron.
I want that guy.
Who are you gonna have?
Exactly.
They have the credentials because they can do it.
Because
There's
look
a difference
like it.
between the book smarts and the street smarts in the sense of like, can you actually do it? Or do you just talk the talk and you've memorized the textbook?
And so I think this is what I kind of said at the outset is, for me, this is why we work very well together.
Do we?
Do we though?
Yeah,
Dude, we've been together for like almost 20 years.
Oh.
I know, right?
Terrible.
I know.
But
anyways,
for divorce first, me or you?
It's going to be you. I'm dependent on you. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to file divorce.
Oh. Challenge
accepted. Anyways, what I'm saying is that fuck you. Every time
what?
You mess up my train of thought, and I hate you.
I didn't
so
even say
much.
anything. You just said something.
Did.
You just said something about getting a divorce and
No, I didn't. That was you. I'm just saying the whole point is like the yin and the yang. I'm the type of person who I thrive in and this is why I didn't thrive in the master's program that I was in, because it was very much you do you figure out what you need to figure out, and I'm like, no, I need you to tell me what I need to figure out. I need to take a class. I need to get an A in that class and then get a master's. That's how I thrive, right? That's who I am, and so that's
you have the book smarts and I have the street smarts.
That's exactly what it is.
Book smarts. You know it's true.
Fuck you, it is.
Yes. There we go. And with that, crisp high five.
Crisp high five. Also, go see Thor Ragnarok.
I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Ragnarok. Just go see it. Just go fucking see it.
What if people are listening to this like 10 years
I don't care. Just go see it, because I cried. I laughed so hard. I cried. And also, Chris Hemsworth. Mic drop. Boom. Chris, high five.
No, there's no high fives after that.
Don't leave me hanging.
It's going to be. Why would you even say
You're
that?
so mean.
I mean, we already did crisp high five for the both of us. And now you're crisp high fiving to some dude that you want to like whack it to.
Not at all.
Oh, really? Then what was all that about?
It was just like, if you want to, I'm just saying I
don't
like to be
whack, I rub, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right. Are we done here?
We're done.
So we will see you
next week.
Like a question mark?
Next week.
Maybe?
We'll see. We'll probably see you next week.
All right.
Right?
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
See you then.
Sounds good. I know.